This week on Edmunds Live, I'm joined by Aaron Riches, Mike Magrath, Jay Kavanagh, and for the first time, Mike Monticello. The big story this week is all the cars we saw at the big Pebble Beach car extravaganza, Pebble Beach Concours, Monterey Historics. Aaron and Magrath were able to go there, and the big new car there was the M4 Concept. You both saw it. Tell us, what was it like in person?
The electric lime paint was weird for me. I just didn't think that was a very refined choice. My first time seeing the car.
I saw it from like 75 feet away, and
that's the best distance.
Sprinted as quickly as I can possibly sprint over. It's sort of what they wanted to do with Phoenix Yellow from the E46, but really tweaked up the yellow and made it bright and pop. And I am going to contact BMW to try to get them to paint everything in my life this color. Was
it getting a lot of attention there amongst like all the really rich people?
Yeah, even amongst the $1.5 billion Ferraris, it was, people were gobbling by and saying, "Oh, this is the all-new M3 Coupe," and obviously,
yeah, that doesn't, yeah,
it's an M4.
Right. Yeah.
I would tell them that, but then they would mock my stock portfolio.
Now, Jay, how do you feel about it no longer being a V8 and being turbocharged?
Well, I guess that's just conjecture at this point, but it's going to be not a V8 and it's going to be turbocharged. Well, I don't know, it wasn't so long ago that BMW said that they wouldn't have a turbocharged M car, and now look, right, everything is turbocharged. That's a minor bone to pick because probably it's going to be fantastic, right? They do really good engines.
The other car that was there that really got a lot of attention was the Cadillac Elmiraj, spelled like Nicki Minaj. But it was sort of in a tent or something, so it wasn't really readily available.
Yeah, so at the Concours, it was off, sort of up in Cadillac's little tent and not on the concept lawn. In
photos, I think it looks spectacular. It's big. It's like 5 inches longer than a Mercedes CL.
And it probably has the potential sales volume of a Mercedes CL, which is barely double digits a month. It's cool and all, but I'm kind of tired of Cadillac making really cool concepts that they have no intention of building, like the CL.
You know, when you get to that level, $100,000 plus, those people are really badge and brand conscious, and so are they going to buy a Mercedes for that money, or are they going to buy a Cadillac?
But if it looks as good as that one does, I bet you, and I think that's a little more viable than a Cadillac flagship sedan, perhaps, because if it looks that good, there's going to be more of a aspirational luxury, hey, look at me choice.
The car is stunning, and they need a flagship, and it might as well be that one, and they should call it the Eldorado. It's kind of a no-brainer.
And that's why it's too bad more people didn't see it, because it's off in a tent, and the grass is wet in the morning.
Well, let's move on to real cars in the real world away from Pebble Beach. We had a luxury SUV comparison this week, and it was written by Mr. Monticello. So, which car SUV won, and why?
The Acura MDX won. It had the best combination of sport and luxury of the group. You know, it can do all the SUV-ish things you need it to do, comfortable seats, lots of headroom, plenty of cargo room, reasonable fuel economy for the class, yet it's the quickest, best on-road handling. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's the only one of the three that you really think, I want to go drive that. And it sounds the best. The other two, the QX60, super comfortable, really cushy ride. Lots of room, a real third row. You can put, full-size people back there, but it's got zero driving passion, nothing exciting about it whatsoever. And the RX 350F Sport, they gave it a stiffer ride.
Yeah, with that stiffer ride, that is one of the worst cars I've driven. It just seems, I like the RX Hybrid. It was very nice, but when you put the fake sport, it really is like a fake sport package. It's just stiffer for the sake of being stiffer.
And when we tested a non-sport one, it pretty much did the same numbers as the F Sport.
So they didn't change the tires on the F Sport?
Well, it's being held partially back by its stability control system. But I think the hybrid actually might have done better slalom numbers.
Wow.
But at least you have a stiff ride. About time for the lightning round. Let's get to it. This is pretty simple this week. Aaron, what was your highlight of Pebble Beach?
I, for the first time, got there in time to go to the Tour d'Elegance on, that's French, I think, on Thursday.
It is, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where the old cars that you see on Sunday are actually driven on 17-mile drive up there. And cars that owners that participate in that get, you know, special consideration on Sunday for having participated in that, and it's great because you actually get to see
The cars move.
them being used.
As
Yeah.
opposed to just sitting there like a lawn ornament. Mike, same question to you.
Mine's from the lawn at the concourse. It was a 30s-ish Bentley, and from the B pillar back, whole thing's covered in leather. Because if your Bentley doesn't, you have too much leather on the interior, and you've got all this extra leather. Just do the outside of your Bentley that way. It's awesome.
Monty, if you had $55,000 and a family to cart around, would you buy an MDX or another type of vehicle altogether?
Well, I don't think you can go wrong with the MDX, but if it were me, I would have bought the old M3 sedan, you know, with the V8. But now I would seriously consider what's going to be the new M3 sedan with the turbo, what we think is going to be a Turbo 6. Because it's just, an M3 is just so much more fun.
Yeah,
And
I'm with you.
There we
finally,
go. Solved.
JCav, you just installed a supercharger on our long-term Scion FRS. What's the performance difference?
Well, we put an Innovate Motorsports twin screw blower on there, and it is faster in the quarter mile by half a second, and it picked up almost 5 miles per hour in the quarter mile. One hitch is the tires on the car were a little old, so the 0 to 60 suffered a little bit, but we have a solution coming in the form of new tires.
New tires.
We got some BF Goodrich rivals here to help resolve the tire conundrum and hopefully get a better launch and the 0 to 60 improve, and everything will be great.
Okay, let's go to our social media minute and let's bring in Claire on Skype. Claire, what do you have for us this week?
Hi guys, so I have a question that came in on Twitter from Captain Jim, and
Ahoy.
he asked, why would Ram trucks put a PRND knob on a truck? Do they wear gloves or rock a truck out of sand or back down a boat?
I'm not really sure what the captain's problem is with the knob. It's actually a pretty large knob and it's pretty grippy, so you should still be able to operate it with gloves. And I think it actually might be easier than a console or column shifter because it's just so easy to go from drive to neutral, back to reverse. You could do the whole sequence right there, you know, right on the dash. So I think it would be easier.
I always find that I miss gears with the column shifter, especially on our Silverado or any of those trucks. So I'm not sure what his problem is, but you're not a fan?
I'm totally with Captain Jim. There's just something about drive versus drive.
This question is in regards to the luxury SUV comparison test. Kevin Bond posted on Facebook and he asked, where's the MKX, the SRX, and the Germans?
Where the MDX, the SRX, and the Germans, where are they?
Well, you know, I think if you look like an X5, which is a great SUV, if you price it out the way, you know, spec it out the way these ones were, it's going to be considerably more expensive. These three are probably cross-shopped more than any other three, so it makes sense to pit these three Japanese against each other.
So we also got a question on YouTube about last week's episode when Erin mentioned the Acura NSX as her pick for the best used car. 93455 driver asked, where does one find a used NSX in good condition? Craigslist?
Sure. Craigslist would be great. Other options are eBay, of course, and going on the various NSX forums is a good place too.
Yeah.
Not only would it get you a good place to find a car, but it'll give you the tips and the information to know what to look for and what to look out for.
Well, I think that's all you have for us, Claire. Is that right?
Yeah, that's all I've got, but we're always looking for new questions to feature on the show. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Claire.
Thanks, Claire.
And that's all we have for this week, so see you next week on Edmunds Live. Thanks, guys.